My name is Alex Thompson, and the day my wife Sarah decided our marriage was over started like any other ordinary November evening. It was a Tuesday, cold and rainy outside our little house in suburban Ohio. The kids, our son Jake, 10, and daughter Emily, 7, were upstairs doing homework, or at least pretending to while sneaking screen time. I was in the kitchen making spaghetti, the cheap kind with store-brand sauce because payday was still a few days away. Sarah had texted me around 6 p.m. saying she was running late from work, something about a meeting at the insurance office where she was an admin assistant. No big deal, it happens sometimes. When she finally walked in around 8, she looked different. Not tired like usual, but wired. Her coat was damp, her hair a little messy, like she'd been driving with the windows down in the rain. She kissed the kids quickly, told them to finish up and get ready for bed, then came into the kitchen where I was stirring the pot. "Hey," I said, smiling. "Dinner's almost ready. Rough day?" She didn't answer right away. She set her phone face down on the counter, something she never did, and looked at me with this blank expression that made my stomach drop before she even spoke. "Alex," she said, voice flat, "I'm done." Just like that. No yelling, no tears, no lead-up. I laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. Done with what? Work? The rain? With us. With this. She gestured vaguely at the kitchen, the house, me. "I'm leaving." I turned off the burner, my hands shaking a little. "Sarah, what are you talking about? We had that argument last week about the bills, but we talked it out. Come on, sit down, eat something." But she was already backing away, grabbing her purse. "I texted you from the car. Didn't you see?" I checked my phone. There it was, a message from 7:45 p.m. "I'm done. Don't wait up. I'll get my stuff later." I stared at it, then at her. "This is crazy. Talk to me. What's going on?" She shook her head. "There's nothing to say. I just can't do this anymore." And then she turned, called upstairs to the kids that she'd see them soon, and walked out the door. The rain was pouring harder now, and I watched her get into her old Honda Civic and drive away without looking back. I stood there in the kitchen for what felt like hours, the spaghetti going cold. The kids came down, asking where Mom was, why dinner was late. I forced a smile, heated it up, told them she had to help a friend and would be home soon. That night, I tucked them in, read the same chapter of Harry Potter twice because I couldn't focus, and then sat on the couch staring at my phone, waiting for her to call or text something, anything that made sense. Nothing came. Calls went straight to voicemail. Texts showed as delivered but unread. By midnight, I was pacing, heart pounding like I'd run a marathon. Sarah and I had been together since college, 15 years married, 18 total. We weren't perfect, money was tight. I worked construction, long hours in all weather, and she handled the office job, plus most of the kid stuff. We'd argued about division of labor, about her feeling trapped, about me not listening enough. But done? Just like that? The next few days blurred into a nightmare. She came back once while I was at work and took clothes, her laptop, some photos. The kids asked questions I couldn't answer. Is Mom mad at us? When is she coming home? I took time off work, called her parents. They said she was staying with a friend and needed space. Her sister told me Sarah was figuring things out and not to push. I begged in texts, "Please come home. We can go to counseling. I love you. The kids miss you. Whatever I did, I'm sorry." Radio silence mostly, or short replies like, "I need time," or "Stop pressuring me." By week 2, the pain was physical. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. with my chest tight, like I couldn't breathe. I'd wander the house, touching her side of the closet, smelling her pillow that still had her shampoo scent. At the grocery store one Saturday, pushing the cart with the kids picking out cereal, I saw a woman who looked like her from behind and nearly broke down in the aisle.
tears streaming while I pretended to read a label on canned soup. People stared, but I couldn't stop. The guy behind me honked in the parking lot because I sat too long at a green light. Work suffered. My boss pulled me aside. "Alex, you're zoning out on site. Get your hand in the game." Friends tried to help, guys' nights with beer, but I'd just sit there, staring into my glass, replaying every fight, wondering what I missed. Was there someone else? She swore no when I asked. In one desperate call, she finally answered. "It's not that, it's me. I woke up and realized I don't want this life." Thanksgiving came and went. She FaceTimed the kids from wherever she was, some apartment, I guessed, but wouldn't talk to me. Christmas lights went up on the block, but our house stayed dark. I forced a tree for the kids, wrapped presents from Mom and Dad, even though she hadn't sent anything. The months dragged. December into January, snow piling up. I learned to braid Emily's hair from YouTube videos, packed lunches, attended parent-teacher conferences alone. Jake started acting out at school. Emily wet the bed a couple of times. I took them to a therapist, went myself. The counselor said abandonment hits hard, especially sudden like this. She's grieving something, maybe the life she thought she'd have, but that doesn't excuse leaving you all to deal with it. I started seeing changes in myself. At first, survival mode. Cook, clean, work, sleep, barely. Then, slowly, anger crept in. How could she do this to the kids, to me? We built a life, mortgage, minivan, family vacations to the lake. She was the love of my life, she said, on our wedding day. Now she meant nothing? By February, 3 months in, I'd stopped begging. Texts were only about logistics, pickups if she wanted to see the kids, sporadic visits, always short. I joined a dad's group online, read books on divorce, even though she hadn't filed. Friends said move on, date, but the thought made me sick. She was still my wife, the mother of my children. Then, one Friday in early March, I came home from work to find her car in the driveway. My heart stopped. The kids were at after-school care. It was just her, sitting on the porch steps with a coffee from the local shop, like she'd never left. I parked, walked up slowly. "Sarah?" She looked up, smiled, that same quick smile she'd had since college. "Hey." "Door was locked. I figured you'd changed it." I didn't. I had, actually, after she took stuff the second time. She stood, brushed off her jeans. "Can I come in? It's cold out here." I let her in, hands trembling as I unlocked. The house smelled of pine cleaner. I'd been keeping it spotless, partly out of habit, partly to feel control. She walked around, touching the counter, the kids' drawings on the fridge. "Looks good. You've been taking care of everything." "Yeah," my voice came out rough. "What are you doing here?" She turned, like this was normal chit-chat. "I missed you guys, the kids, home." She stepped closer, reached for my hand. "I was wrong, Alex. I panicked, needed space, but I'm back. Let's put it behind us." Just like that, acting like the 3 months of hell hadn't happened. No explanation beyond I needed space. I pulled my hand away. "Put it behind us? Sarah, you left. You said you were done, abandoned us." Her face softened, eyes filling a bit. "I know, I was in a bad place, depressed, feeling trapped, but therapy helped. Wait, no, I didn't go to therapy, but time away, I realized what I had. You're the love of my life." The words I'd longed to hear for months, but now they rang hollow. I thought of the nights I'd cried alone, the kids asking why Mommy didn't love them anymore. The way I'd started to rebuild, small things, like cooking new recipes, planning a spring trip, just us 3. "You're acting like nothing happened," I said, voice rising, "like you can waltz back in and pick up where we left off." She flinched. "Isn't that what you want? us together again? For the kids? The kids. That hit. But no, I wanted that 3 months ago. Begged for it. You ignored me. Now, you've shown me who you are. Someone who runs when it's hard. Tears now, real ones. I made a mistake. Please, Alex, I love you. Part of me, the old part, wanted to hold her, forgive, pretend. But I'd changed too. Therapy helped me see this wasn't the first time she'd checked out emotionally during tough spots. And if I let her back easy, what stopped her from doing it again? I shook my head. No, you're not moving back in. Not like this. She cried harder, begged, promised change. We argued for hours until I picked up the kids. She left that night, texting apologies non-stop. That's when I saw